have another single-family superstar, Kevin Bain. If you could come on up here. Please give him a hand.
All right, Kevin.
Woo! Here you go.
Brought his notes.
Yes.
Nice.
That I'm not going to use. No,
Okay.
she's
Okay.
in Pennsylvania. Sorry.
Oh, okay. She's
Y'all
living
would
the
think I'm
lifestyle.
all right if she showed up, but
Yes.
Hold it close and like point it towards you. Perfect.
okay.
So thank you, Kevin, for being here today. You've been a member for a little while. Tell us how you found us, when you got started, a little bit about your background.
So I've been interested in real estate for a really long time. I was actually a real estate appraiser
Oh yeah.
about 2 decades ago, and I did a lot of investor deals, not in this group. It was a different concept. As you guys say, there's a lot of ways to make money in real estate. This is the way we do it, and this is, I think, the best way. But I was interested, but I couldn't figure out how to get into it. I let my appraiser license go. I was driving around listening to all those radio stations back on the wall, and I heard commercial after commercial after commercial. So finally, I logged on. I sat in this room right here. Somebody did a little hour presentation. I heard about the 5 ways you make money in real estate through lifestyles, and I was hooked from day one.
And I'll teach you all those this weekend.
Well, awesome. Okay. Well, sounds good. And then, so at this point, you've got 13 single family and 2 passive apartment communities. So I think to say you're doing a pretty good job. And then your wife, no real estate background with her, right? She's in pharmaceutical industry.
Nice.
Yeah, she just wants me to do all this. She you know, this little picture right
her?
here.
Yeah.
She's the grand slam home run of this little episode right here. So it's a little harder to replace her income. So
Right.
it'll be a little while longer. 13's not near enough.
That's
Are
a
y'all
good-
able to take the excess depreciation from the properties and offset some of her
Her
salary,
income.
her
Yes,
taxes?
yes, we are.
I'll teach you about that this weekend. It's
Yes.
awesome.
So that's probably made a difference
Yes.
during tax time, right? Awesome. So why did you join Lifestyles? Heard us on the radio, wanted to invest in real estate, didn't know how to get started. You said we had a complete toolbox and roadmap that made sense. Want your jobs to be optional and more time and legacy with family. I know you've got kiddos. So that's an amazing, absolute amazing reason to join. So let's talk about this property. It is on Coral Sunrise. That's in San Antonio, right?
Yes.
Looks more open and inviting in the after picture.
Right? Okay, by the way, he didn't send me before pictures, right? Because when you start buying houses, you get really excited, and you don't always take befores. So I found these online. So is that what it looked like?
I know the fence was there.
Yeah.
The picket fence, somebody tried to make it a picket fence all-American home, but it looked kind of ridiculous. so
Like a jail,
I
right?
tore that down pretty quick.
Awesome. So tell us about the rehab on this one.
You know, I actually, when I got on a roll acquiring these things, I had a couple of guys that I just hired and moved them from one project to the next, and then I brought in electricians and plumbers. So I paid those guys by the day. I'm not sure that was always better,
Right.
because if you pay somebody by the day, they'll turn a 3-day
It's gonna
job
take a
into
week.
yeah, 3-day becomes 5. But I think I saved money,
Yeah.
but it took more time.
Okay.
So I actually am not doing that anymore.
Okay.
But this I did. You know, we put a few touches on it. There's a barn door, you know, and, you know, we touches that didn't really cost much more money, but it made it more appealing to the renter.
So what do you guys
Oh,
think
yeah.
of that after picture? I mean, that's beautiful. That's gorgeous.
Is that granite or is that
That's granite.
nice?
That's
Okay.
granite. And by the way, guys, pay a photographer, because that's a photographer. And I pay my guy like $125. It's so worth
Totally
it.
worth it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
replaced
let's-
all the cabinets in the kitchen? Or is that just the faces?
I've replaced some of them.
Okay.
Some of them were okay, but some of them I replaced.
Beautiful. Best product, best price again, right? So good job there. And then you did the bathroom,
Yeah.
pulled out that shower, and again, so are you going over there lifting up a hammer, Kevin?
I
You're
can
handy.
go over there
Okay.
and probably have more than I should, because I kind of like it. I'm a handy guy. I'm an engineer by education. I have that.
Engineers, yeah.
Yeah.
Always want to get in there.
Yeah, and by the way, it makes me struggle with this process, because I can't help but re-engineer even a process that's well laid out for me. So I probably could, if I would have followed the plan to a T, I'd probably have twice as many houses. So to my own detriment.
So we teach you to utilize the vendors, the ones that were introduced earlier, and we have a flooring vendor hiding out over there.
There's an inspector in here somewhere.
Yeah, we teach you to utilize the vendors, stroke a check. They'll get the rehab done in 4-6 weeks, if it's a heavy one, and then you'll have someone ready to move in. Now, if you want to get out there and get your hands dirty, that rehab could take 2 months, 3 months, and now you're making a mortgage payment without a renter. Copy? So
tell us about your renter. So let's look at the numbers here real quick. So you rented this one out for $1,500. Wow, that's a beautiful house for $1,500.
Nice.
Did you do the leasing or did you hire?
I do it all. I
Okay.
manage all these myself.
Good for you. Okay,
Nice.
I manage mine too, by the way. So it's not that hard. We teach you a system. So how about your leasing? Did it take months and months and months, or how did that process go?
Usually you put it on various places and you learn where to put them. A couple of weeks, you'll have somebody
Okay.
in there.
Well, awesome. Let's look at those numbers.
And that's 165% on that equity capture, right? 27 out of pocket and an equity capture of 45 grand.
Yep.
Right? So appraised value 160, purchase price 89, rehab around 30K, cash out of pocket a little over 27.
I'm seeing some of these for the first time myself. No, I'm just kidding.
Right? When you start buying so many, you forget the numbers, right?
When did you close on this one?
In sometime in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So this one is netting you almost $500 a month cash flow. Hey, you can do a lot of stuff with $500. That's one house, right? There goes back to that chunking that I talk about. Cash on cash return, 22%. That's insane.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. Great job on
that's
that.
awesome.
And then equity, little over 45K. So good numbers on that. Fantastic deal. What's the plan? Are you going to hold it another couple years, sell it, or?
I think we're going to see my houses here in a minute. I think all of them almost are candidates to sell.
Right.
And
yes,
basically
they are.
when they go vacant, I make the call.
Okay.
I think the market's starting to slow down, so it might be, I don't know, I could sell this one anytime.
Right. Right. Most of these are in blue-collar, middle-class areas, so they're still affordable to the average home buyer, first-time home buyer. So that's another thing about the type of properties that we buy, but he'll cover some of that.
And I want to talk to a point you just made, right? You hinted that the market might be slowing down, but rents are getting better. Okay.
They are.
If the cost of borrowing money, interest rates, is high, guess what happens to my rents? If people can't buy a house to move into, right? So we still find these properties like the before pictures, fix them up and get higher rents. As real estate investors, we're allowed to make that spread, right? And that spread, to answer the cash flow question before, is usually about 8 to 10%. Traditionally, when interest rates were 11% and Dell started doing this, he was able to get a 21% yield and make the 10% spread, right?
Yep.
And we're doing the same today. When interest rates are 4 or 5%, we're making the 15 to 16% yield and make the 10% spread into our pockets.
Absolutely. And for those of you that are buying now, which I know a lot of members in the room are, we've got a lot of active buyers, great deals still out there. Imagine when the interest rates drop, what's going to happen.
Yes.
Right. So I'm excited for that. I know I've kind of been through that cycle already, so I'm excited.
He wants to add something.
And by the way, I probably need to push all my rents to maybe incentivize some of those vacancies so that I have a choice about whether I want to sell them or not.
Right.
I get a little lazy, you get a little complacent
Well,
when
let's
money's
see
coming
why.
in.
Let's look at your portfolio.
The beauty is, sit down with a multi-millionaire who's done it very successfully and get specific advice on each property.
I'll say this about the mentors. My only problem with these people is I don't call them enough.
Right.
You get to thinking that you know enough, especially when you're a re-engineerer like I am. So I probably don't call these.
Well, Kevin, you got 3 of us. Call us.
I know.
That's what we're here for. But one thing about Kevin, he does come to every road trip.
Nice.
I see him a lot at the case studies. Same thing with Jim and Robin. They're there quite a bit. Re-engage. Come back to these meetings. Come back to the 2-day. If the last time you went was a year ago, it's time to go again, guys. This is not just a one-done, thank you, ma'am. This is re-education, and that's the great thing about Lifestyles Unlimited. So let's look at your portfolio of all your numbers. Whoa. By the way, this took me a long time to add up. I think I double-checked my math a few times. So you've got 13 single family.
They won't figure it out if you're wrong.
By the way, this does not include the 2 passive apartment communities that he has.
Oh, you're in multifamily. Cool.
So his annual cash flow, again, that's money in your pocket, right? That's over $84,000 a year. Wow. You could have retired somebody with that.
That's awesome.
Equity, $1.3 million, Kevin? Yeah, it's time to sell or
It's
cash
time
out.
to sell a couple of these, maybe.
How long you been a member?
Since
16, 17?
beginning of 28, end of 17.
Okay, good. So 5 years.
I bought the first ones in May of 2018. I
6
bought
years.
2 right away.
Excellent. That's phenomenal. He increased his net worth in 5 years by over 1.3 million. Does everybody see that? And he's added 85,000 a year salary, cash flow that is tax free. Great job.
Yeah, give him a hand. Woo.
That's awesome.
That's a great portfolio. Yeah, I kept looking at it last night like, wow, this is great.
And we'll get your question in a couple slides, okay?
Yeah,
Just
give us
don't
one
forget it, please.
So, how has life, with that, okay, this is your portfolio. This is life-changing, guys. If I just gave this to one of you in the room, how would that change your everyday life? It would change it a lot, right? So,
How many wouldn't go to work on Monday? Look at that.
Yeah.
So in 5 years, you could retire yourself just like he did. Copy?
My wife makes too much money for me to retire her yet, though. So
That
I'm
sounds
still
like a good
I'm still
problem.
working. And I kind of like I'm kind of living here right now, and I kind of like it here right now. But I want to make it so that I don't have to be here right now.
right.
Understand?
Yeah.
Good.
We all make the journey.
So you were able to step away from your sales job, and you did start a new profession, which Kevin is a home inspector, and he has helped some of our members. He's done a few of my properties. So that's amazing, but you didn't start off as an inspector. You kind of were like, hey, I like this real estate stuff. I like to stay busy. So you kind of gravitated to that. But it looks like you're having a fun time with your extra time and money, right, with the family?
Yeah, the raft trip. We don't travel much. But just because we don't care to. But that was a fun trip. And then, to me, it's all about the flexibility to go to my daughter at the state cross country meet in Dallas.
Wow.
Just being able to do that anytime. And
That's huge because you can't get that time back.
yeah, watching my kids compete and
Right.
perform. They're in theater and all kinds of stuff.
And you don't have a boss saying, Kevin, get to work. Right?
No. Except my
amazing.
wife. She does. she does that.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Okay, so short-term goals, long-term goals for real estate.
You rode a unicycle.
Yeah, actually, that's the old one. That one was, I just replaced this a month ago. And the one I just replaced that one with is 4 times as much as that one.
Wow. Crazy.
And harder to ride, it turns out.
Nice. So short-term goals, you want to buy more houses?
Yes,
Maybe?
but I'm pickier now on those. I think I'm gonna venture back into more multifamily.
Okay, so long-term, you said more. So how do you like the passive stuff? So passive, for those of you who don't know, you just write a check. You're a passive partner in an apartment community. You don't have keys. You don't deal with tenants. I did my first one last year. Oh my gosh, easy peasy, guys. I collect a check. I don't even go to the mailbox. It's directly deposited. My lead sends out this amazing email. I'm like, wow, this is doing great. So much easier than single family, but kind of boring. How is your experience with your passive stuff?
I get checks and
Yeah.
I get emails that I don't read.
Right?
Oh, come on. You have to read your monthly reports.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start reading them now because I want to start. I actually peeled back my membership from Preferred, and this is not going to make sense to everybody, but from the multifamily
Talk about it
world
this weekend.
to the single family world, when I became an inspector, that's sort of the world I was living in.
Right.
And I had the time and enjoyed getting my hands dirty on the single families. So, but I've got to
But if we want to
re-engage
retire
that.
the wife, you know,
Apparently, that's what I haven't done yet.
right? So cool. And, you know, we've got a whole multifamily team to help you, you know, once you're ready to venture more into that world. So good. So give some shout outs to some folks here. Jillian Garland, she's my counterpart, one of the other single family mentors. She'll actually be here Sunday. And then Greg Trimble shows an appearance again. So he's another one of our single family realtors. But we have an amazing team of single family agents. We have a lot of them in the back of the room. Please go meet them, chat with them if you haven't already. Great guys. They'll be at the road trips, which you should be coming to. And then what about your vendors?
So I use Teresa. I forget the name of her new company or
Yeah, she
Freedom
just-
something.
Texas
Texas,
Independence.
yeah.
Okay.
So she does all my insurance. We used Novak to get some money out of a 401k.
Yay.
So y'all don't understand what he just said.
Pulled money out of a
he
401k.
cheated the government out of the penalty, the taxes that they would have received, right? Not they get the taxes, but the 10% penalty. He cheated the government out of getting that 10% penalty.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Good job.
I think we can do that again. Actually, we just
Excellent.
haven't
Wow.
yet.
Do it.
Good work. And I bet that money is making way more than it would have being in that stinky 401k, right? 201k, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome. And then your conventional people?
yeah. AMP, they've been good. That guy can figure out anything. They're a little more conventional. I've been doing DSCR loans, which is
Debt service coverage ratio.
yeah. So I can't use them as much, although I think they do that too. They just
Right, because he's on 13, so
And-
financing changes a little bit once you get past 10, right?
And I'll teach you about the 5 different loans we have, or types of financing, I guess we do in single family and multifamily this
Yeah.
weekend.
Good. Wonderful. Well, Kevin, I think you know what you're doing. I think you're a great example of following the map and, you know, really crushing it. I mean, amazing. So there's got to be a question.
She was first.
Where did you find most of your properties?
mostly here.
Lifestyles Realty.
Yes.
He says mostly here, Lifestyles Realty. Shout out.
I have bought directly from a couple of wholesalers. I found one on MLS. I have a real estate license, so I can sniff around on San Antonio on MLS from time to time. It's hard to find stuff there, but it's
Were most of your deals off-market wholesale deals?
yes.
So most of the deals, so the cool thing about our agents, it's not like walking into Keller Williams or Remax. They have connections with off-market wholesaler type deals, and they help vet those deals and run those numbers for you. So you don't get that working with any other realtor. And we'll talk more about that, but a lot of off-market properties, which is awesome because those tend to be really good deals.
I'll teach you how to find one live on the MLS this weekend. But yes, we'll also cover the other ways we find them at Lifestyles. And I'll teach you about that during the 2-day.
Next question.
Online?
Yes, Tony, regarding your first property, he asks, why did you not improve the front lawn?
Is Tony in Texas? Okay.
Because the resident's going to ruin it anyway. So what's the
good
point?
answer. I love that answer. Yes. Tenants do not care much about landscaping as you do. You're not going to live there, right? So follow that. Make it easy for the tenant.
Easy maintenance.
Easy maintenance. I'm guilty. In my first property, I put a bunch of flowers and plants. Oh, this is beautiful, right? Us women tend to overdo stuff. My tenant didn't water those plants. Now, they watered the grass, but not the pretty flowers. So you don't really have to do that. So good answer on that.
Sylvia, you had a question.
When did you get the last property?
When did you buy your last property was the question.
The last one that I bought was last year in October.
October of 2022.
Yeah.
How did you get your GC? Your general contractor.
What was the
I've
question?
been
When did you get
How do you find your general
How
contractor?
did you find your
I've
general
been
contractor?
I've been using those couple of guys that can do almost everything except for the plumbing and electrical. You know,
So you've got a team.
So you have a couple handymen on
have
staff.
a couple of guys. Yeah.
Good. built your team up? You got to have a team to make this work, guys. Good question.
Yes, sir. Jason.
Jason?
How did you, when you pulled your money out of your 401k, how did you decide how much to do? Why not?
Oh, good question.
Will you
Hey,
repeat it?
Jason, are you coming to the 2-day this weekend?
You
Okay,
should.
because you're asking good questions.
So, Victoria, can you wave your hand? If you're ready to sign up for the 2-day this weekend and get your name on the attendance roster, chat with Victoria back there in Member Services.
Yeah, because
And-
he's got good questions. So the question was, how did you decide how much to take out of your 401k?
And online, if you want to sign up, 2 years save is the promo code to watch it online this weekend, streaming. Sorry. But good question.
The 401k was it was between my wife and I. I think I had an old 401k and we just drained it and then just put it into reposition into
And were you
Real
happy with
estate.
your decision?
oh, sure.
And so we'll cover that this weekend also on the best uses of the 401k and how to use the money and possibly pull it out, without paying the penalty if you have a spouse you trust.
Right. Yeah, it's a big part of it.
I
Any
have
other-
one I trust. She doesn't, well, yeah,
Hey, happy wife, happy life, right?
that's what they say.
Any more questions online? No?
No more questions?
Any more in the room? Yes, sir. Jeff.
Jeff,
Home inspection company, how do I get a hold of you?
what's the name of your home inspection company?
Can I do this without
Are you on the
getting
vendor
He
list?
is a vendor, yes.
I'm on the vendor list. Yeah, so it's Bain Inspection Service. As of
His card's
as of
on the
today.
table. His card's on the table.
Actually,
probably,
I
right?
got to change them because I rebranded and
Okay.
Okay.
so
And are you going to come to the Chicken and Pickle this evening to network
absolutely.
with us?
Yeah, everybody
So-
should do that.
After tonight, we're going to the Chicken and Pickle. Heaven forbid you want to chat with someone who's doing 500% better than the average American on their investments. Copy? And a multimillionaire.
Right.
I mean, hey, dude, are you real?
I know.
Okay, yeah. That's the beautiful thing, right? Lifestyles Unlimited is a like-minded community of successful real estate investors, right? And you network with them. You go up to Kevin and go, hey, man, if I buy you a beer, will you tell me how you made your millions in net worth? Kevin's going to go, shit, I'll buy the beer, man. Let's go. I love talking about myself,
There you
right?
Yeah, you can buy the beer. I'm still pretty cheap, actually.
Yeah.
Edna
Hey,
has a question. Go ahead, Edna.
Edna.
Are you managing these properties yourself or you have an outside company?
Good question. The question was, are you managing your own single-family properties, or do you have a company do it for you?
I manage them myself.
What program are you using? Can I ask?
She says, what program? Do you mean background checks, or what do you
I
mean?
know the background checks, no, to keep records of what you spend.
She's asking,
Software.
what software do you use to keep records of
Since you're an engineer,
expenses?
you're probably using
Oh, yeah.
a software
Spreadsheet.
system of some type.
Spreadsheet on spreadsheet?
I actually probably need to go to something greater than QuickBooks. I use Quicken that has a
Real estate
property,
component.
yeah, where you can actually tag a property. You can categorize your expense and tag the property it's associated with and do reports. It's starting to get pretty limited though. I probably need to figure out what to do about that. Maybe I need to call a mentor.
There you go.
Maybe. Question in the back.
Robert? Let me repeat the question. You said on management? Okay, so because you manage your own properties, which we'll teach you how to do that if you choose to. By the way, I have out-of-state members who manage their own San Antonio properties, so it can be done. He says, how much time a month do you spend on that for your 13 houses?
It's not much once I get people in there. It's
Yeah.
during the rehab that takes a lot more time.
Rehab.
Is it a
process.
day? Is it a few hours a month?
The worst part is accounting. That's
Yeah, I agree.
that's what I spend most time. But
Crunching those big
I
numbers.
would guess 5 hours.
5 hours a
week,
month?
or
Oh,
week.
5 hours a week, okay.
Well, but that's it's not
Once
that
they're
much.
all leased up?
Yeah, it's not that much. I don't know. I don't think about it. I just do what I
He
need
doesn't
to do.
think about it.
It's
I don't get
obviously not
calls on-
much if he can't remember,
That's
right?
true.
He's got to figure it out, right?
I've been getting caught up on my books for like 2 days, but that's because I haven't done them in 4 weeks or 3 weeks or.
But
2
as
months
far
or
as
so.
tenant calls, what about
No,
that?
I got a call last night. Someone's air conditioner, and it took me 10 minutes to deal with that.
Right. Did you go out there and fix it?
No.
Okay. By the way, it's been like 105,
Yeah.
100s in San Antonio. It's hot, guys.
110 in Dallas.
110 and oh my gosh. Yeah, so it's been hot. But that's why you have a team of professional vendors who can take care of those maintenance issues for you.
Excellent.
So, great question.
Any other questions online? Last chance. Okay.
Okay, well, please give Kevin a hand. Superstar.
Congratulations. Thank you, Kevin.
Awesome. Thank